Welcome in, guys, to Wires Up TV, where tonight we are back and yeah, we're headed for the club rooms. It's been a little while, guys, so appreciate. Okay, there we are. We are back. Um, okay, guys, let's just get a quick shout out to everyone in the chat. Rose, see SMH, good to see you, my man. That's what I'm gonna call you, my shorthand, SMH. If you know what I'm talking about, it's SMH. Say his name and he appears. I believe in Sam Healy. I believe in Sam Healy. Bro, I don't even watch wrestling, but I've seen that fella on TikTok a bunch. Apparently, took an RKO, I think, but I like that. I like that. We should start that, Mikey. Absolutely, Inspector. Great to have you. Fair enough, man. Call it early. Great to see you guys. Kia ora, Jose and Tony Dub, as always, my man. Good to see you, Tony. Guys, let's. I'm gonna get the show going. We'll get to your questions, but I've got some work to do, as I don't have much time this week to obviously do all my content how I want it. So you're gonna do some video analysis with me, and then we're gonna do a little bit of video analysis of Morgan Gannon. Well, I'll get your questions. Keep the chat filling up. And guys, if you want to become a member and join the members show tonight, please hit the join and become a channel member. Okay, let's do some video analysis, guys. I'm going to set this up here. Oh, I'm going to get blocked. Okay, so let's do this one here. Okay. Look, let's start off with this one. These kicks, cage kicks. I've learned that these are called cage kicks. Shout out to my bro Axel Rawudi on Instagram. But these kicks from CHT, I love these kicks. The reason I love these kicks is that they sit in that kind of dead zone where, see how positioned Leotoa is and Gagai. They're literally, it's a 50-50. Both aren't able to really get much build up into the kick. Little detail there, obviously Pompey's sitting out there. Now that is risky in a sense, because if that tip goes one way to Schiller's away. So there is an element of risk to this whole kind of setup. But I love that it kind of creates a 50-50 opportunity there. And the positioning of Leotoa is fantastic. Now, see, one wrong bounce, and if that bounces into Schiller's hands, he's away through the middle there. So that is the element that I think is a little bit risky about that. But we get the bounce this way, and the awareness from Kate. Well, look at the width of Pompey there. He's standing quite wide already, so that's actually fine. Nice pass. Yeah, Rose, he is sitting wide. Now he stands up. Schiller probably could have done better here. I would have probably gone to the outside shoulder. Credit to Pompey. He his step kind of looked like he was going to move inside. So I credit Pompey there. Nice stiff fan there, and he's away. But I love that from CHT. I really do. Okay, where was this one? Okay, so this was that early short side tunnel ball to Tane. Now, what we should be excited about was that this game felt like a game where Metcalf was really starting to create. And I feel as though that was kind of a sign that the attack is starting to unfold, especially if you're dominant, but things are slowly starting to click. Nice hard line there by Berry. And then the tunnel ball there. Chance takes this hit. You just have to. That's part of the job. Bradman Best, though, one of the best athletic centers in the game, does so well to get that, to cover that space and to do that. So I got to credit Bradman there. But what I'm saying about that player is I do love the energy, and that you're starting to see some of the attacking shape that I suppose we want to get to start to kind of create multiple threats across the field. That's what I'm trying to say. Um, okay, next one. Just keep moving because I got a couple of these guys, and I don't want it to take too long, but just wanted to share some of my views on some of the developments of this stuff. This kick I actually really enjoyed. I think the placement of the kick was great, and it looked like initially it was going to be a 40-10, right? But it actually sat inside in a nice spot, and it looks like from the view look of it, Ponga was way out to the left, coming back over, but Schiller was really touched tight to the its fourth tackle as well. So that's a nice. I think that's a really good kick. So I actually enjoyed seeing that kick there. The little detail though that I really saw as I watched this, if you just look at that kick chase, it's really, really good. Obviously, Capewell known for his kick chase, and Berry right up in there. Now, the tricky thing is if we remember Ponga, I think Ponga one time, might have been last year or the year before, we gave him the middle of the field and we gave him space and time, and he literally destroyed us. So the key here is to actually shut Ponga down. You don't want him to get over here into the open space, and you don't want Marju involved either. So if you look at Berry first, but look at Tane, his sole job is to get all the way over to Ponga, and he hustles hard. He really look at him pushing in to really close that space off. And I mean, Schiller doesn't even see it, but you know, Tane makes sure that that doesn't happen. I love that. That is fantastic right there. I just wanted to show you the little 1% is the detail of like, hey, we're going to key in on Ponga. He's not getting anything in terms of hit ups, open play runs. So if you notice the kicking game, I think was very targeted towards Marju on his end. I don't think Ponga got many if he did. So nice little yeah, and sorry, I'm still seeing the chat, guys. Chris, you're bang on. We are trying it, and it's very good from Metcalf to show his confidence. Really loving it. J Rose Metcalf is starting to draw the line and a lot better, and his kicking game is being underrated. It is. It's really sorry, this one. Okay. I think this is the best we can do on this situation. In those situations, the winger does have to jam. It's based on our system. That's how we play. Again, I respect the centers for holding it up, similar to what Pompey did. It's almost identical to what he did and Pompey did with Schiller. But Rocco gets in there. I love that. I love that he gets right in there. But just Marju is a beast. He can just look at the power. He can slip through those. But those second efforts from Metcalf were fantastic here. And these are big moments. If you think about this game, could have been a lot closer. So credit to Metcalf and Tane. I know it's at CNK getting that one over. Hey, Sniper's good. I'm going to get to some Gannon stuff soon as well. But yeah, have a talk amongst the chat about that. But I love the 1%ers there. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Oh, this was just Egan, like out of dummy half, right? Just recognition of his. He just knows when to go now for a quick play the ball to get the markers out. I think the one with this one was the markers were both. So it was one marker, that's right, and both were retreating. So he just sold the pass left, and he just got all this open space to deal with. What it then did was just created space for him to create an offload. And this is where we're talking about our game is starting to open up with the offload. We're starting to give these offloads. If you notice, I think me and Ash someone said there was 9 or 10 offloads on Friday night. So that tells you something. But I just wanted to show you the power of Egan and his ruck recognition and knowing when to get easy meters. And then you get second phase footy off of that. You know what I mean? Tane starts to work a little bit, you're getting these second efforts from the Knights. So I just wanted to acknowledge Egan and his really masterful game. Again, CHT with these cage kicks. Chris, you bang on offloading in good positions. Yes, very good. T Mackey, Egan should have got 6 LEM points for his game. He was the best player. He was one of the best players on the field. I do agree. This is great from Pompey. Now, personally, if I'm Schiller, I probably wouldn't have tackled there. I would have tried to just push him, and then I think that's a bit lazy, but that's a great recognition from Pompey there. Just a little wraparound play there and a little screen. It's like a little bubble screen. A little bit of NBA in there. He got the screen on Gagai, and then he's got the old. I love this. I love it. And then great from Leotoa. I'd get the hands extended. Now, what I said in my video was that he should have passed it, and he did, which is great. I'm grateful for just to be in the right spot at the right time. That is awesome, man. But again, cage kick from CHT and contestable, put it up there, 50-50. Who knows what's going to happen? And you got two guys that are long in length in terms of Pompey and Leotoa. It's fantastic. Now, this one, leading up to this tackle, look how compressed the Knights' defense is. I think if we get a wide shot, if you can count, so from this guy here, there must be two more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if you've got 8 guys all in 1/3 of the field, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there's an overlap somewhere, right? Love this line from Dimitri. It's a hard line insight. It just causes Leo Thompson to bite, which then opens everything up for Metcalf. Leo's gone there, so you're working now. And that look at the sizing of these spaces too. And Leo can't recover there, so he has to turn in there. Does Phoenix Crossland? Great draw and pass by Metcalf. Now look at Fletcher Sharp though. See Fletcher Sharp, he gave up on this play when I look back at it. If you look at Fletcher here, he could have come touch tight to forward to stop this try. He just kind of quits on the play there. He needed to come in my opinion, and close off 4. He just kind of gave up on the play. Seeing his reaction is just way too late. You have to assume that that guy is going to get the offload. But a great pass from Aaron to get this over the line as well. And just late reaction from Fletcher Sharp. But hey, we'll take that. But that's the effectiveness of that attack, and it's good to see those types of tries, because that's what the actual tries that Webby tries to generate was those types of tries. That remember AFB always used to get them, Jazz used to get them, Walker used to get them, or you'd be setting them up. That's the type of try you want to get when you know that your offense is sort of moving pieces on the defensive line around. So good sign that that things are working. J. Rosa, Aaron has been a perfect addition to the squad. I think Dylan Walker didn't suit our system of attack, bashing down the middle rather running halves. Yep. That's a good one, TV. He's not a good player. It's good you come to a realization. Okay, this one here. Oh, sorry. Rewind. So this one here, this was an example of our defensive system, right? And that this is what you want to try and do. You are going to squeeze and leave the winger exposed. The score key here is a scoreline 26. A struggling Knights team trying to figure themselves out, trying to find points. Kalen throws a flat ball across, and our boys just absolutely nail it. Now, we do, again, part of the system is leaving the wing exposed, because we want to put pressure on the center to make difficult part. Now, that's a hospital pass, and it's well read from our boys, but it just shows you that our defensive system, most times than not, is going to get it right, because we're going to put the stresses on the part of the field that are that are most effective. So credit to Webby and the system and how things are working. And look, we put them under pressure, and that's kind of how the story goes. You know what I mean? So, guys, that's just a little bit of tape from the weekend. I didn't get to do everything, but I hope you guys can get the picture of what we were kind of up to and how effective we had. It was a great game. It was a great overall game when you really look at it. And yes, it's a lower team, but we're supposed to do that. So okay, guys. Now let's. Any questions? Chuck it in there for now. I did see snipers come and talk Gannon. We will talk Gannon actually, and then I'll get into some other corridor. But yeah, keep filling up the questions. I'll answer them as I go. This is your guys' night. I'm just creating topics to discuss while we're chatting. Okay, guys, this one here, Gannon. Sign. Morning, Gannon. Leeds back rower. Gannon signed for 3 years. Leeds Rhino back rower. Morgan has agreed to terms on a 3-year deal with One New Zealand Warriors to the end of the 2028 season. Wow, that's a long time. And we're going to get to this, and we'll talk about this at the end of this. 21-year-old. So take note of that age, 21. So we currently got a left edge back rower at the moment who is, 30 nearly, keep ball, 29, 30. So that we were getting a 22-year-old by the time he gets here. So that, again, shows you youth. We'll finish up with Leeds at the end of 2025 season to join a growing number of Super League players lured to the NRL. Yep, so that is true. And we're going to talk about the other Super League players that have come over. Since making his debut in 2021, he's appeared 60 times for the Rhinos in the Super League and Challenge Cup competition in England. I think this is the guy that has had ACL issues. So let's be careful what we're really looking at here. Morgan is quality forward, and we're excited to have him to our roster for 26 and beyond. One New Zealand Warriors General Manager, Recruitment, Pathways and Development, Andrew McFadden. Players out of the Super League are having a growing influence in the NRL, and we see Morgan adding to that with us. He's keen to challenge himself in the NRL, and we want to give him that opportunity. One New Zealand Warriors secured Gannon despite the Rhinos making a substantial offer to keep him. We've been watching Morgan, and we're excited about what he has to offer our club, says One New Zealand Warriors coach Andrew Webster. He has a strong work ethic, running hard lines, has ball playing ability, and defends well. He'll complement our back row forwards, and he'll prosper in our environment in the NRL. Rhino said they're extremely disappointed to be losing Gannon, but he said his decision was down to the lure of playing NRL. This is a great opportunity for me, and one I had to take. I spent time in Australia with my dad's family. I think his dad was a former prop and played over and obviously in the UK. I know how big the game is over there. I would like to thank the Rhinos for everything they've done to support me and the offer they made to me, but this move is nothing to do with money. It is something I want to challenge myself with. This is the key quote here, I reckon. Morgan has strong rugby league bloodlines. His father, Australian father, Jim Gannon, born in Newcastle, was coached by Webster during his time with the Hull Kingston Rovers. Okay, so that's the key there. I'll leave that there. Okay, a little profile there. So, he's only about 22 from Halifax. He's a back row, 191. That's good height. 101 kgs. A decent size on the light side. So he's been in the game since a very young age. Obviously, probably would have touted as a look. So was that 18-year-old? He's been in the game. But if he was playing, he's obviously missed a bit of time. But 10 tries for 60 appearances. That's one try. That's not too bad. Let me just get to the chat, guys. Okay, sorry, guys. I was reading that, but let me get back to your guys' comments. J Rose, I hope Gannon doesn't stunt someone of our young guns coming through on the fringe like Labour. We'll talk about that. English forwards are, yeah, we're going to talk about that for sure. Sun Young are saying Sims risky. Tompkins flop still in the rear view. I want to kind of give my view of why this might be different, but I totally understand it as a Warriors fan. We can see that. Great argument, team maker. Do we need another young forward when we have Halasima, Vaimong, Mia Toyava, Fatiolofa, Ale, Crosby, Healy? I agree. Yep. With the money they gave him, I'd say he at least takes the bench spot. You don't just fly over to for nothing. Fair enough, Team Mickey. Yep, and you have every right to go with that. Busman going the opposite way is a future gun. 6'3", good height. Yep. Fair enough. I am. What I'm going to say, Mickey, is I'm going to just share how this could work and what it might look like. Needs NRL games to unlock him. I don't doubt that as well. I watched a little bit of his highlights against Lee. So what was it? He played. Who did he play this weekend? So Leeds played Hull KR. He looked a little bit slow. He looked a little bit disinterested. I mean, different game over there. It's a far more open game. That's a good argument, well, right? Is that what could Webby do with him? Okay, let's look at a little bit of footage. Well, let's just see. Let's see what let's see what he's about. Okay. Sorry, it's on the analysis one. Sorry, 1 second. You're with me now. It's not working on that one. Okay, I'll go on this one anyway. Let's have a look on this one. Okay. Not sure how old these highlights are. He does have a bit of speed in him. What I think this is, now going back to back rowers, the fellow at Canberra right now, Nicholson, I got him on my super coach, solid player. We know Bateman's been pretty good in general. Who's the other back rower? There's a few back rowers that have come over that have done quite well. And I agree in that sentiment, at least, that back row from the English game, for me, is decent. Now, this is a far more open game. He looks quite young here at the time. But if you look at him stylistically wise, he could be an actually really good back row. I think this could be a definite upgrade on Capewell. Youth, skill set, all those things. Like I do think this could be an upgrade on. Let me just fast forward to some of his other stuff. He does have a good line on him. Now he won't have this kind of space. I mean, it's soft defense over there. We know that, but he could actually be genuinely good. You know what I mean? What's that? Youth football. I mean, it's not a great example, right? But there's potential there. I mean, I don't really want to see that kind of stuff. Follow through. Yeah, it's just like the bounce type stuff. Okay, here we go. At the line. Just a little fade out, little overs line there. I mean, not high class defense. He'd have to do obviously a lot of. I reckon he'd have to come over early in preseason. Like really, would have to work quite hard to get him into condition to play. but there's some potential there. Okay, there's nothing. Just what's it? Short ball. Yeah, it could be useful. Okay, there's not much there, but I thought I'd share that just to kind of. Let me just get back to the comments. Anyway, that's the last bit of video, guys, that I got for tonight. But I just wanted to see what you guys think. Let's go with Dom's comment. Different body shape would have cost a lot. Add depth to our young guns already played 60 Premier games. That is good. He look. I think he could be one of those solo back rowers. Like what Nicholson has done at Canberra is pretty good. Whitehead was another good one. That you know what I mean. Like these back rowers that do come over are good. I wouldn't take a back, obviously. I wouldn't take a half. I wouldn't take anything. But for actual forwards, I think this could be a good one. Yeah, he's played around. Can anyone tell me about his ACL issues? Now, yeah, yeah, that's fair enough, Chris. Too. It is less risks, Chris, and that's my argument for this case with him. They were really good. Morley, the Burgess brothers, and the forwards, from what I've seen from the UK, is pretty solid. There's player for the UK fella too. See, well, Smithies, yeah, they're solid. They're really solid players. Let's just talk about this right now. Whose spot is Gannon taking? I'm thinking definitely Kate Wah. I would say, and this is where my thing with Gannon and the hierarchy of Gannon, Laban, Halasima, all of that. One's got to move on. I don't know who goes. If it's Laban or Capewell, I have no idea. But one will probably want to move on next year. We'll have to wait and see, obviously, when the chips fall in place. But I wouldn't just be putting this guy in cup. There's something about this kid that he's got a good line. He's actually got good foot speed. He's got good drive. He needs a preseason with Webby to really work on him physically, I'd say. I was watching the highlights to the Leeds versus Hull KR. He was a little bit lazy. I mean, that's a Super League game. They're not really. Maybe we should all watch the Leeds versus St. Helens game this Sunday morning, New Zealand time, 6:30. Maybe watch that, see if he plays and see how he looks. So there's opportunities for us to get a I can't believe Dennis Betts. I mean, was that the last time we got a forward from the UK? It was Dennis Betts. That's crazy. We're not Gannon probably going to the Raiders would be like you think, oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna put this kid in my super coach because I know Ricky has a record of turning back rowers into successes at the Raiders. Now we know Webby, raw talent wise, can turn back rowers into success as well. We saw with Jackson Ford. Although now he's a prop, but Webby can pretty much, if he's got the raw material, he can craft it. He can. So this kid for me would be a great sign. But here's my caveat. So let's get to these. Yeah, Laban would be taking. That's another thing to be careful. That's another thing. So another back row spot will be opening up. I'd say Murata won't be starting next year for sure, in my opinion, in the back row. Maybe Capewell moves on. That leaves two spots open. You battle it out. And if say Smithy's Gannon is better than Laban and Toyava, well then he gets a spot. This is competitive football. I'm not saying that. Look, if Laban goes away and he becomes another Elias Couture, then I'll be absolutely disappointed. But if you're going to say to me Smithies is a genuine clear and cut above, then maybe. Keyword is potential other English forwards imports have been more established. Also has concussion. Fair call, Sun Young. I'm not even. These are the arguments against, which I think is great. I read that he can play in the half, so maybe a 14 option. Could be. Arthur's rates him. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure. I want to watch this game against. If I get some time, I'm going to watch this game on Saints on Sunday morning. Amazing. I think Kate will move. The aim is to get Halasima Lehman as many games as possible this year. I totally agree with it. I totally agree with it. Well, definitely, Rose. If he's going to go because Gannon's coming in as well. Now they may see Gannon as something totally different. Maybe they see Gannon as that replacement for Dylan Walker, to have someone actual through the middle like him. Southside saying, just on the topic of recruitment, with all the cap space we have, who else is available next season that would improve the squad? That's a great question, man. Would anyone in the chat chuck some names up there? It's yeah. So see, Whale Rider, his dad played 400 games of footy, so he's from a rugby league family. His dad's an Aussie, I think, and Webby coached the dad. So I think that's the connection. I think Webby's connected with the dad and said, "Hey, what's your son up to?" Yeah, and he knows Webby. This is probably the benefit of having Webby do so much of his undergraduate work in different countries, that he's tapping into different markets. And probably Platt was the last guy in bets. That's 30 years since we've had a back rower. Peacock calls him the new Morley. Wow, that's big praise. That is big praise. That's a good one, Wills. Back three, yeah, I agree with Mackie here. Back three still needs, look, we still need strengthening in that area. I don't think it's. I'd be interested to see how Dow's comes back. Really would be interested to see how Rogers getting on. You probably want to get something locked in. I mean, Tane's been great, but you don't want that to be a staple week in, week out, although he's proving us wrong. Gannon have ball playing some back rows. He does. I think he has a bit of ball playing skills. I think he's a good footy player, Gannon. I mean, I'll have to watch some more, but see how Arthur's uses him too. Maybe Arthur's limits him. So that's another thing to think about. Need a winger, yes. New player rating on Metcalf after closer analysis. What I gave Metcalf 8.5. I think he was my man of the match. Probably, he could go up to a 9. I still rate that was one of the Metcalf's better games. The intercept, his attacking shape was real good. The kicking game, even the short kick that Leatoa dropped, I love that. That's what I wanted to see. So I'm happy to see real good positives from him. The Cobo argument, we're going back in circles. Clough, my man, how you doing, my brother? I cannot be happier. I cannot be happier about this. Are you talking specifically Gannon? Obviously, you probably have. Yeah, I do like it. I do like it. Buzzman saying it is a good sign. God, yeah. Look, the one argument, Dom, you probably have against Capewell is a slow foot speed. And I mean, credit to Capewell, he's using his smarts. But it looks like Gannon can actually, he's got a bit more foot speed about it. He's got a bit more drive about it. He looks like he's got a bit more pace about him. And I actually can't say that about a lot of our back rowers, barring Liquor. Laban is a more bigger style back rower. But if I really think the back rower type that I really like is the short ball type Nikora. That's the one I want in my club. I mean, you got your Olakawatu, your bigger types. You got your Marata types. For me, my favorite type of back rower is a Nikora, a short ball terror, Bradley Clyde style line runner. I'm not sure if this kid is that, but from what I've seen foot speed wise, if he does a preseason with Webby, he could be an absolute terror. In a different way where you have a Leka Halasima, you give him early ball. Leka is more of a damaging pit bull tear everything in front of him. This guy might be more of a finesse. I don't know if he's finesse, but he might be a hard line running type, get a short ball and that type of thing. So that's where I'm kind of seeing him as. Yeah, Rose, I'm getting the feeling about seeing DWZ. I feel like there might be a little bit of drop off. I hope not, but something to watch out. Hey, Tans, great to see you, Tans, and your show, man. You guys are doing awesome over there at Warriors Fan TV, guys. If you haven't got a chance, please go to Warriors Fan TV and hit the like and subscribe over there to our brothers. They are back and in full effect. Great to see them and the panel and the work they're doing. Like to see CNK put on some weight, play a bit more wing and center next year. How did I never. I get where you're coming from. I'm never a big fan of putting muscle and weight on. I think sometimes whatever your base weight is, and especially if you've been in the NRL a long time, that's pretty much who you are, in my opinion. Like even Tane, for me, I don't think he can put like he might be able to put on size, but I just don't think it suits him. Maybe in some similar way, it doesn't suit. Seeing Tane like a blooming who was Arnie's little mate, Franco, a little tiny Franco. I think Arnie's mate off of was it Pumping Iron with Arnie's little Franco Colombo. It's just a ball of muscle. I couldn't see Tane as being a ball of muscle like that. I think there's slight, he's kind of that smaller frame, and I think that's where he fits best. That's why I don't think guys should change weight too much. But I like the sentiment. A tall Ranger forward with speed is what Toyava is. Dude was impressive in yourself cup. Mackie, you have every right to do that one too. I don't even know Gannon. I'm just trying to come up with some wise reasons as to why he would work. But Toyava should have every shot too. I totally agree with that. But if I'm only using track record from what the Raiders have done and what freaking, one of my favorite back rowers of not all time, but of that era was Gareth Ellis. I mean, these English forwards have something about them, if they're good ones. I mean, I don't know about this kid, but once they get going, they can be quite good. But we'll have to see. We'll have to wait and see. Second phase, yeah, absolutely. Bang on, Towns. They've been really, really good together. I feel I really. Do you think? Can you look back now and look at why did Webby go with Ward in that Canberra game to start? I have no idea why. Anyway, that's going to be one of the biggest mysteries in Warriors history. Chris saying, I feel like early success has been attributed to our settled halves appearing both not injured and are now getting in. I actually agree with this, Chris. And this is something that I've kind of come to, and from other people sharing with me, that we actually do need to settle on the halves. And I think this is something that needs to be acknowledged, that the halves are playing better together. They're playing more effectively together. And I think this is a good sign. So I want to give credit to Metcalf and CHT. They have proved most of us wrong. They're doing really well. Starting to take more shape in terms of attack. They're starting to get a bit of flow. We just want to watch their progression over the next couple of weeks and see how they go. But I totally agree. Okay, well, signed for 2026. Yeah. Jackson Ford's doing really well. Sun Young saying, we are wasting opportunities to develop Mills by playing Lussick and prop in New South Cup. Worried about the depth there. Yeah, I mean, Lussick, for me, I always felt he should have got moved on when Healy kind of came in. Yeah, I'm kind of a little bit clueless as to why that is, but anyway. Compassionate grounds slipping and shadows for Cape, well, potentially. Now I want to chuck this in there. Potential compassionate grounds for Morgan Gannon. We cannot avoid this. He may come here for 1 year, and that may be it. Who was the half that was at the Raiders? Was it Williams, George Williams? Maybe he did 1 or 2 years, and then he was gone. Compassionate grounds. So compassionate grounds, I am for me personally, I'm not giving in my head, I'm not giving Gannon more than 1 year. Just am. So I'm thinking it's going to be a 1 year situation with a compassionate grounds coming up around mid-season 2027. Just how it works sometimes. That's me being devil's advocate, being negative, but I'm preparing myself that could happen. Yeah, I agree with this, Dom. Lamana is looking great. He was awesome on the weekend against the Harold Mets. It's how do you transition these guys up at what pace? I mean, he's Harold Mets, so he's going to need some more time. But that's something you're looking in around 27, 28. But the train, the thing's starting to kick in now. The freight train's starting to kick in. He was Mickey. I think he was at that time. I think he put a. I think these guys are on it over on Vegas, man. That yeah, I mean these guys like Seal Carly, they've been around for a while now. That's my question as to. I mean, there's an Ami Tuanai guy. He looks pretty good. I think he's in Flig. I mean, Costa's been around. Like it just kind of the wing position hasn't been solved completely through development. Tane's doing a great job because he's a footy player. He can do that job out there, but he's a fullback. So that's a big question. How to interpret the stat capable leads NRL and missed tackles hard to reconcile with the view he is a defensive asset. Missed tackles is a tricky one for me. I'd probably be more big on missed tackles leading to line breaks. Sometimes they're ineffective tackles, so you're going for the tackle and then someone bounces off and they get tackled on the inside. So you still haven't effectively changed the course of the player. But yeah, it's sometimes can be misleading. Will Price for the Knights went back. Kai Pierce Paul, he's another one that we talked about with Ash, is another could be a great back row. I think the way that Newcastle use him, like Ash and Keith was saying, was not too good effect. So this is a good call, Dom. It's something to think about for sure. Hey Bruce, good to see you, my man. Thank you for dropping in. It does, Chris, but it's the nature of the business. The players have most of the power. I'm just preparing myself mentally that this kid could leave in 2027. Probably do 1 year, then you never know. But sometimes they just fall in love with the people. Maybe we hook them up. If any of you guys got some, young daughters out there, you older fellas, send them your way. Let me get him onto a dating site. Get him hooked up straight away off the plane. Get him on a date. Get him a couple speed dates to get going. You know what I mean? He's a young fella. Get him some speed dates. Get him married. Get him having Kiwi kids. Lemana moved from Union after the hype of 2023 Warriors. He was playing for Auckland Junior System. I feel like I developed my things. Wow, that's a great Rose. Thanks for sharing that. Look, that's the power of the Warriors when the Warriors doing well. If we can stay consistent, we can start to have an impact on different clubs and different things. You know what I mean? So this is very important. Thank you for sharing that. Our key area next will be halves team and boy probably move on. They will. Wings, RTS, and lock. Yes. T-Mac, you nailed it. Those are important areas. Very important. Who's off contract next year? Is Marata off contract next year, guys? When did he sign to? Because I haven't seen an extension for Marata since day dot. And he signed 2023, eh? And he's done his 3 years. Yeah, interesting. I'm not too sure. Yes, that's true. Get him on the multi-bright. Yeah, great. Yeah, Hoppy. Yeah, great call there, Bruce. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Well, look, this another one will be to watch is this Moses Leo kid over at the Storm. I mean, these sevens players here opportunities too. You know what I mean? I think we are a development team. We want to get them in younger, and we really want to work with them. Mackie's saying for Ale Harper, Kossi, TMM, Tanner Smith off contract. Wow, see that's a fair bunch. So that is two middle forwards, a winger, or two wingers, two halves. Yeah, I'd say does Bunty finally go? I think he's in his last year contract, so he's probably not going to be re-signed. Ale, Morgan Harper, Kossi, Maire. I say if Bunty goes over to Super League or something like that, Tom Ale's got potential. He's just so far back in the rung. He might get picked up by another club. Harper's probably gone. Kossi's probably gone. Tamari, I'd say, would be gone as well. And Estelle Smith off contract. He hasn't got much game time being at the club. Does he want to stick it out? He's only young, so yeah, fair enough. Marata's got that extra year, eh? Okay, fair enough. So Marata will probably ride his one out. I think you're talking about Gannon. I think he's had some injuries and some head knocks, so just be careful, Tans, about him. You're not wrong, Mickey. I'm not sure why we've struggled for wingers. And Setu 2 left. Seal Kali hasn't been given a shot. I'm not sure if he's a winger as such. Yeah, there's an issue there for me in the wing development space. Yeah, keep on Bunty around if he wants to hang around. Like I don't think he should be given massive contract, but if he wants to hang around, let him hang around. Oh, this guy's never happy, eh? He was more than a middle for us building our tech shape around Sharks Dynasty to sell him in this. Look, bro, you make your own bed, man. You know, this is it, bro. If the brownies weren't good enough here, then maybe the brownies aren't good over there. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Sun Young, you know what I'm saying, my man. Maybe the brownies just aren't good. Brownie, no matter where the brownies are, they're no good, man. The baking's off. Flour is no good. The cooking, the baker is not good. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I love the AFB, but come on, man. Like, if you're not happy, you're not happy. It's not my problem. We're happy. We're happy right now. Now, haul a wing from the Hurricane. He's like 100. I mean, yeah. I mean, there's talent there. I'm not sure why the club hasn't quite gone there route. I mean, look, they've got a ton of people in their programs. I mean, they've got satellite groups in Canterbury. They are getting more. I just don't think they're quite ready to develop. But you're probably thinking, yeah, why not go and develop someone like a Moses Leo? What is he, 23, 24? No experience? Bring him in. Probably tons. You bang on. Yeah, Valtefari, I mean that's the level though. Japanese rugby is probably that's the level that he's at. A lot of praise for him. Oh wow, City 2 is back. Okay. Why did he leave though? Yeah. Well, Pompey was a winger, and I think this is something that I think Pomps should be given his chance. Well, he's a solid professional, Pompey. It doesn't have ultimate speed though. That's the only problem. And look, just something to be aware of. But we need to still get. Uh, you're not wrong there, Bruce. Actually, that actually makes a lot of sense. He'd fit the Titans. He'd fit the Dolphins too. Who's Bunty blocking? Maybe Ali right now? I can't see any other middle forwards. I mean, Demetrius already superseded him technically. Ford superseded him. Fish, and I mean, if he wants to sit as depth again, he can. Yeah, my man. You know, sometimes it's not. It's not. You know, it's not the. It's just maybe the baker isn't the greatest. Back 5 years, I just go with this the solids of CNK, RTS, DWZ, Leotoa, and Berry. Bumps will just drop out for me, I think. Just to be honest. that's it, right? That's it. Simple as. I'm actually happy he's not here with the attitude that he's got. And I don't mind it. He went too far. He went. He tried to go looking for them, bro. There's not much there. I watched the Sharkies game. Yeah, I'm glad our halves run the game and are stepping up because Hines goes missing, bro. Um, this is a great point, Tons. The Bears are starting 2027. The Bremen Hunters, BNG Hunters or whatever they are, they're starting 2028. There's going to be a massive. I think those boys, let's be honest, they all want to sign up early. With all the changes happening, there'll be job opportunities. Blimmin' hell, if what's his name goes over there, Brad Arthurs, if he's the head coach, he needs 30 players straight off the bat. He's going to tap into some of our players. Laban might go. You know what I mean? These are things we have to be really careful of. So something to really think about. Sun Young, I think Berry has that right side locked down. I think Ali's fixable that he can move around. That's the great thing about him. So yeah, it's kind of something to think about. I mean, Rocco is very highly touted. Obviously, Webby loves him. Ali kind of has some work to do defensively. I think whatever he does, I definitely think Ali's the most talented center we have in the club. That's for sure. So maybe this time on the left is actually good for him, and he'll get his other times to go on the right. But you want to start settling him in over the next year or so into a set position, whatever side that it might be. Like as start defense looks out of sorts with him running. Yeah, he's got to get off. He does. He does. If you actually notice his performances though as a starter are slightly different. He does have moments. He picks and chooses his moments when he does attack. But he's much more solid across the board. He has moments where he has lulls where he's just defending and he's working hard. And that's part of being a 80-minute back rower in the NRL. You have to develop a game to be able to know when you got to be on when it's time to attack, and you got to be on when it's time to defend as well. I mean, I'd be really looking at guys like a Nikora, some of the top back rowers in the game. They can play 80 minutes consistently. So that's something that Lecco should be developed to be able to do. And I love what Webby's doing right now, starting him and giving him maybe 60 minutes. I think he did 70 against the Broncos as well. So it's really good to see. Yeah, Laban could be tight. I mean, these are things that we're going to have to really be careful of. Yeah, the travel too is going to be huge. Yeah, Liquor's signed to 27, I think, or maybe 28. I can't remember. You could actually see that. I mean, that's reality. Look, Volandis is pushing expansion. Where are you going to get a team that's decent enough? You're going to have to go tap the New South Wales Cup quality players. You're gonna have to find a way how the Dolphins started. The Dolphins started off with what Bromwich is their main, the Bromwich brothers as their main ones, and then it was all mix and match. Nikorima, they took a punt on Katoa. Maybe they will have to find like uh, you know, a star player. I mean, there's opportunities. What Galvin is he? When's his contract up? 26 or 27? Yeah, so yeah. There's bro. They're gonna be poaching, bro, hard out. Marata to the Bears. Send them off. Well, see, I think this is right. I think we should have first rights to offer a contract before, to some of our development players. And then I agree. Cable's going to be there for a while, though, I think, eh? They should be locking up key young fellas with the new teams coming. Yeah, we should. Like, that's what I'm saying. Don't leave anyone off contract. Because what Brad Arthurs will do is say, this guy's contract's finishing 26. Let's sign him for 27. So, something to think about. That's a good point. I would actually I think I'd probably take Marwin over Harper, to be honest. That's the honest thought. I think there's going to be a tight game, this one. I think this will be a very tight game. Energies are up. Both teams come off good wins. I didn't watch all of the Cowboys game, but they're looking a lot better. The only thing I've got for Webby is that he's got a good record over Peyton. I think he's beaten Peyton 4 times, and convincingly in most of them. So, look, I think we're in for a really good shot here. I really do. The Dearden was on fire. Like, this will be a tough game. But if we can lock that middle down again, I really do feel confident we could do it. You're not wrong, Bruce. You're absolutely not wrong. I can see Galvin going there 27 for 9 years, 9 million. Or 8 years, 9 million, or something like that. Something crazy. Likavi Nano would be fantastic. I mean, Ash would be, frothing at the mouth to see Leka versus Nano. That would be beautiful. Okay, guys. Any more questions? I'm going to go for another maybe 5 minutes. Appreciate everyone. Well, hit this. Thank you to all of our members coming in. It's great to catch up with you guys, and I apologize in the sense that I've been away. The last 2 weeks I've been full on, but it's fantastic coming back and hang out with you guys, having these comments. Everyone's so committed, and the questioning. Like Keith was saying, man, we've got a great community of people that talk in the chat and ask good questions and know their stuff. You guys know your stuff. You really do. And I'm grateful to have you guys, members, to be sharing the space with me and giving me time to share my passion. My passion for rugby league has been a long time. And now that in this age of technology, I can create a stream and talk with people. It's absolutely fantastic. So I'm grateful for you guys. But I've got 5 more minutes. Anyway, guys, hit me up if you got any more questions. And hit the like, as Dom says. Great question, Rose. Could Bears potentially be in New South Wales Cup and sign some different infringers like Dane Merritt off the top of my head in those contracts in 2026? We're going to see something interesting here. We're going to see how attractive Perth is. 7-hour flight, I think, from one way to the maybe was it from New Zealand to Perth, or maybe Perth to Sydney. There's going to be some hectic travel for these guys, but we're going to see what who really committed to going over there. Look, they'll need some marquee signings. They'll need some players that are willing to take a risk, and they might have to do some third party deals to get these guys over the line. But they need Perth to hit the ground running strongly. So I imagine that they will get some, maybe 1 or 2 stars, and then the rest will be made up of work into some of our players, you know what I mean? Big game for us. Canberra play Melbourne this week. We can be outright third if we win. Look, we actually got a great game here. This is a very winnable game. Based on how the squad's playing, it's very, very winnable. But I still need to see that they can do it technically away, even though it's a home game, I think. We need to show that we can do it consistently, even away from our fortresses. I thought Christchurch was absolutely fantastic, but we need to do it away from from home. This would be a great chance to see that. So we should feel confident to go into this game. The halves are playing well. Everyone's playing well. CNK's back. Played massive game. I think everyone's looking pretty healthy. We should really give this a crack. And I agree with Sun Young. We should go third outright and feel good about that at this current stage of the game. They will. They will struggle. Sorry, fam, a bit tied up now, but hey, great to see you, Jazz. Know you're busy, man. You're very kind, Jazz. You're one of the best moderators, yourself and Tahi. Jose, appreciate you guys as always, man. Thank you for popping in, bro, and do your thing. Pop in tomorrow night as well. But really grateful for you, man. Again, we're gonna see how attractive this really is, being that far away. Up the wires, Jazz. Appreciate you, brother. Remember the NRL running the Bears for 3 years? They will be making sure they can get the players they need. Yeah, that's another challenge too. Yeah, great to see Jazz pop in. We appreciate it, man. We really do. Chris, do you think Christchurch will get an NRL team once good a new stadium? I do, and I think it's time that we have a natural rival. I think the sport is dying for another breakthrough into the New Zealand market. If you look at Super Rugby, it lost South Africa. I'm not sure how it's rating. I'm sure, New Zealand is still very much a rugby country, and I don't think that will change for a while, or it doesn't need to change. But what it can do is that providing another opportunity for New Zealand players to have a play at home and to, especially have a franchise in Christchurch at a new stadium with a city that's growing. My brother's actually moving down there, so people are moving there post-earthquake. It actually has a massive size. It's actually a very big city. People, I think, North Islanders get this thing that South Island is small, but when you go to live in Christchurch, it's quite big. I think it might be one of the second or third biggest cities in the country. So there's room for growth there, and I think it's time that we the sport grows beyond the Warriors, and I think it's time to have that as well. Bang on! Yeah, it's going to be Southside. It's going to be a massive game. I'm looking forward to this. Good on you, Jose, man. You worked hard to do your laundry. I know what it's like going to laundromat this time of night, man. I think our game plan matches well against the Cowboys if we execute it. We've beaten them well the last 2 times. Yeah, we actually match up well with them because I think we can physically battle them through the middle. This would be good to see what Peyton's lost 4 on the trot to Webby. Webby owns him. So I'll be interested to see how this kind of Rose, yeah, man. I'll let you know as soon as I do something in Auckland, man. Appreciate you, bro. You done the dessert, right? I know. I love that, man. When you're just doing your work, Jose. You're doing your work, and then your missus says, "Babe, can you go pick up a dessert on the way out?" You're like, "Yeah, man. You've worked hard. You've done your laundry. Now you're gonna go and pick up a dessert from wherever your dessert place, at Hershey's, whatever your dessert." And it's just nice to come back and just chill, watch Wild's Up TV. You might watch a NRL 360. You might, you know what I mean. It's great. It's great, man. That's a good call. Look at Auckland FC killing it. Premiers, I just saw. I didn't really get into watching the A League, but I did it on the periphery, watch Auckland FC, and great for them, man. Absolutely fantastic. Hit the ground running. You build a fan base. It tells you that these things don't take 30 years. You know, they can happen quickly if you have success. Hence, we need to get success at some point. We just can't keep doing this. That's a big shout. That's a big shout, Tons. Okay, I'm going to take this last run of things, and I'm going to shut up shop. If anyone wants more players to fill out their NRL and reserve grade sides, they need more NZ players. So a South Island team makes so much sense for the NRL. That's absolutely right. It benefits the NRL. You bang on snipers. Yeah, I think that will immediately make a divide into areas. So South Island, that's purely the Christchurch team. We will only be working in the North Island for games and maybe even recruitment. Who knows? Maybe they'll have like certain boarded off areas where they can't. You know, we can't recruit into Christchurch. They can't recruit in Auckland, but I doubt that. I think they'll be recruiting everywhere. Totally agree. Don't think that's going to happen with the Orcas. It will be great. I mean, the first game will be huge. I think take it to Eden Park or. But you know what I'm really scared about, guys. You know what I'm really scared about. If they win a premiership before us, that would absolutely make me so mad. That's what I'm scared about. A Christchurch team come in. Next minute, they're the Melbourne Storm 6 premierships. Next minute, they're beating the Panthers 4-peat. Oh my goodness. I can't have that. I can't have that on my watch. I can't have them on my watch beating the Warriors. I just cannot have it. They need to suffer like we suffered until we win. When we win, then they can win. You know what I mean? Okay, guys, I'm just looking through. I'm only doing it for the money because I would just love to see 50,000 people. I love Mount Smart, but I'm just saying, I'd love to see 50,000 people. That's true. You can't, if it happens, there's nothing we can do to stop them. It could be inevitable if they go on a win. I would be so mad. Yeah, they become like the actual Crusaders of rugby league. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's a scary day. Anyway, guys, I want to leave it there. Had a great time hanging out with you guys. Come in tomorrow night. We'll do a full breakdown of the team list. Ash will be back on. We have got watch along as well on Saturday. If you want to become a member, obviously sign up. It's great to have all our members in the chat. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Great chatting with you about Gannon. We'll see about Gannon. See if we're right, see if we're wrong. See those thoughts. Great doing the video analysis with you guys as well. I'll keep trying to do that for members because that is a privilege for me. Doing the video analysis is for you guys, members. Sometimes I don't have the time to do cut-ups during the day, so I will do some video analysis when I can for us in the evenings to discuss, especially on our members' nights. So thanks for a great show, guys. I really do appreciate you guys coming in, and thank you for being one our members. Have a great evening. Go and enjoy the rest of your evening, and we'll catch you guys tomorrow night. Okay, stay safe. Up the wires as always. Peace.